All right, we are going to just jump in here. I have a special guest with you guys this morning. It's Ellie Liberman here in the building. I am going to have her give just a short, give us what you do, and then we will jump into the convo.
Sure. So, first of all, thank you for having me. I love when I instant connect with somebody, how we met. Shout out to Debbie. What's up,
Yes.
girl? I love you. So I have been a professional healer, psychic, whatever you want to call me. I help people for a living for over a decade. I have a master's degree in fine arts, and this was not my plan. I definitely didn't like wake up and was like, let's be a psychic for a living. That sounds like
Right.
worst idea ever. Horrible like business model. Like, you mean I'm gonna sell things people don't believe in and can see?
Right.
But my story is really amazing. You can go on my website to check that out. It's beguidedbythelight.com. It's all there. But really, I have an energy about me that is, I will 100% support you. Like, I don't care what you've done. There is no shame. You could be the craziest person, you could be the meekest person, and whatever you've got going on, like, I'm going to show up for you. I tend to now in my path after 10 years help a lot of healers. So I heal the healer.
Mm.
I'm also an esoteric business consultant. So because I've developed like a pretty straightforward business, I'm sustainable. I'm not saying that I'm rich because I'm not. It's not like that. I'm saying
Right.
that like I don't want for anything. I'm okay every single time. And so I help other healers build their model, get right, figure out what their gifts are, and have confidence in themselves. So that's a little bit about me.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
We are definitely we had talked about what we were going to do for this show, and then then we kind of got on here
of
and we got
course.
talking about some other shit. So we were like, nope, let's go left
Let's
real
just
quick
go
instead of
for
right.
it.
Because um one thing I have to say is that I tell people all the time, I'm definitely not bringing people on my show that are full of shit. Um, like real shit, because I am one of these people who I
Yes,
don't give a fuck about ratings. I don't give a fuck about views.
it's
So I'm
true.
not in here to be popular. That's
Yes.
definitely not why I'm in the platforms that I am. My
No,
voice
I'm with
is
it.
heard,
Like I
you know?
vibrate on that level. Like I just have to acknowledge, maybe this is a little bit of a disclaimer. Disclaimer, everybody. So like fuck love and lighters. Sorry. Like I'm just gonna come out with it. Like
I'm a
I
loving
gotta
life.
yeah, like we should just go there, because if we're gonna go there, we're gonna go there. Listen, I this is no shade on my mom, okay? And I've talked about this publicly with people. My mom is an amazing human being. She's born and raised in the South, Bible Belt baby, Southern Baptist,
Ooh,
100%, okay? But also extremely gifted individual. She can read palms. She's very successful in the entertainment business, amazing human being. And she refuses to see darkness. Like she can't. She just
right.
doesn't do it. So
Doesn't exist.
my perspective was, let's rebel against all of that and let's just do everything
Right.
the opposite. So
Right.
when I decided to do this, you'll appreciate this. When I decided to do this for on a really serious level, really spirit was like, you're not going to be able to keep a regular job. Like this is going to be what you're going to do. And
Right.
when you go work in a public entity or any function, you're going to just read and help everybody there. And then something is going to happen to remove you from that situation.
Mm,
Probably count more than 5 times that had happened in my life. And it just became very apparent. Like my parents just didn't know what to do with me. And they love me and they care about me, but I was this ball of chaos, right? Ungrounded, didn't know what I was doing, didn't
mm,
even know I was really gifted, just understood that I was meant to help people. I remember
right.
sitting on my couch. Oh no, I was outside of my parents' house. We had like this pool with this patio. I'll never forget it. And my mom goes, Elizabeth Ann, if you open up a portal of darkness, I swear on my life, I will remove you. I was like, I don't even know. I will never forget it. We joke about
Right.
it now because I was so naive. I had no idea really what she was talking about. my perspective of anything intuitive or psychic was God is good. Take
Right.
the high road. If you think positive, you will get positive things.
Right.
All of that stuff. None of that is wrong. But
Right.
let me tell you,
But there's definitely two fucking sides to this shit, and it's
I
nothing.
had to go down so hard. And I mean, I did it all. You name it, I was doing it. I was getting myself in trouble. I
Mm,
had no idea about demons or dark energy or rituals or spells I had nothing. I was completely naive.
right.
And in a lot of ways, that was a really good thing. It kept me really, really pure. But I did get raised by somebody who was in fear and is
Mm,
still in fear of those kinds of things. So,
right.
no shade on the love and lighters. Mom, I love you, but
Right.
like, this is what I'm saying. Like, she knows that we are different and that that's okay. It just ain't the space that I'm in. For
Mm,
me as a soul, if I don't look at what's wrong, I won't understand what's right,
right. Right. Right.
if that makes sense.
It does. It does. And my house was kind of the opposite, where my mom was very Catholic, but they did seances. So very
Oh
different.
my God. So you had like ritual. So you had ritual in a completely different way because Catholicism is also very ritual based.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That must have been so weird.
Push us to be Catholic, but she was always with her Bible. She was always with her rosary and things like that. And I remember that. And then, yeah, you would be drinking and shit. And then all of a sudden there's a seance, all these grown-ups doing fucking seance
I'm saying,
and,
like, I was so confused. It's
and
like, what
invoking
is
demons out of people. And it's like, whoa, these people are crazy. I'm gonna go in my room.
I get it. When was the first time that you feel like you had like a genuine experience or encounter with spirit? Were you really young?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, me
I was
too.
I was little. I would lucid dream when I was little. So
Got
they
it.
call it sleepwalking, right? And I would lucid dream, and my mom would actually have to walk me through it. And I was always actually trying to save her. 'Cause I've seen my mom possessed. She was possessed at
Interesting.
certain times when I was little. I remember being as young as like 7 and seeing her possessed by some not so nice energies. But they
See, let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about doorways and gateways and
yeah.
things like that because
I tell people all the time because people get very scared, and we're addressing that, the fear of this path.
that's it.
That's why I didn't get into anything, because of what I saw my mom doing. I
Yes.
felt like, well, if you're dabbling in that, then all of a sudden I'm gonna have all these demons, and I ain't fucking with y'all. Nope,
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's this misconception until
right,
you really understand.
right,
So so here's what I'll say is I completely subscribe to the concept of the fact that my thoughts create my reality.
mm,
And then I also subscribe to the fact that there are other people's thoughts creating reality.
right,
And that creates an infinite amount of possibilities, an infinite amount of timelines, all the things, right? So
right,
without religion, without demons, without all the things, without angels or anything like mystical or mythological,
right,
that alone says a lot about how you feel and what your perception, what that will bring to the table.
right.
And so when you have all this pressure and all this guilt and all this shame to go in one direction and in another, it can greatly alter the way that you perceive
Oh yeah,
spirituality, anything metaphysical, religion, even anything
right,
esoteric. So
right.
let's just make that clear. Like, God is good for me. Like, I 100% understand that there is definitely something bigger going on, but we are also creator beings
Right.
and we have free will. And so when we are scared, we manifest really scary shit.
We do.
And I definitely think the first 20, 25 years, maybe more of my life, I was creating experiences that were fear based, chaotic,
Oh
and
yeah.
expanded because I'm intuitive.
Right. Right. It's when like I always tell people, it's when you're not shown proper ways to develop, right? You're not shown
Yes.
proper ways, and the fact that we're not shown proper balance of light and dark, because I agree with you on there. There is no light without dark. There's no
No.
dark without light. It coexists. We were talking about this on a different platform the other day, where I was just like, who do you think demons were created by?
It's true. I mean, come like
Where the fuck? So the demon master created them? No, source fucking created them. They
it's
have a
here
purpose.
for you. Like this is right. So
Yeah.
I feel like okay, let's go this direction, Ariana. How about this? So I had a person in my life for a really long time who I totally love, and there are some people in your life that you meet that you know what they've gone through and you would not wish that on anybody. When I
Right.
say that this person has gone through things that I genuinely just I can't, it's the questions that make you think like, is there a God and is God good? That
Right.
kind of stuff. All
Right.
right. That creates fear also, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm sitting here, she extremely talented individual, definitely somebody who is not scared to go into the darkness, not scared to destroy demonic entities. You know, she's an
Right.
incredible human being. But the other side of things is a lot of things kept happening in her life, and she let her trauma and her toxic consume her,
Mm,
and no longer could discern like certain realities. And it's really, I think that's where the fear comes to a lot is we get
right.
this perception of people who are dealing with dark entities or shadows or things that are negative
Right.
perspective, right?
Right.
It's more like they don't understand what they're looking at and they don't understand how to process it. So you brought up a
Exactly.
really good point. Like if we're not taught how to manage, operate, work through, and learn and better understand what's in front of us, we're going to end up creating something that we may never get through.
Right. Like ever since I was little, right? I remember seeing these dark shadows. But for me, being younger, it was always like that's a demon or that's scary or whatever. Me now in the position I am now, I understand that no, just one of my gifts is seeing people in their darkest energy.
Sure.
So someone can be passed on but stuck in a very dark
Oh my
place.
gosh. Yes.
And I see that very clearly. That's how I
Yes.
see, what we would say ghost, right? So if someone had taught me that as when I was young, you know how many souls I might have helped, right?
Listen,
Because no
we're
one's
like,
like,
how
hey,
much fear would be like a
well,
better
shit.
understanding on the
Instead of me
individual
running from
level?
them, right? Instead of me
Yeah.
running from them, it would have been, oh, okay,
Well,
you're coming to me because of my light. You're in your darkest
do
form.
you feel like when you resist it, more of it happens? I always like, I feel like if I resist my gifts or I try to shut it down, like it comes from me like 10 times fold too. Like, even if I don't understand it, like it gets pushed in my forefront.
Um, when I was little, there came a point where it just kind of, you cut it off. It just kind of, nope, it's
Sure,
not real.
sure,
You cut it off.
sure.
But and then in my adulthood, I would just no matter what would come to me, I would be like, nope, didn't see it, didn't hear it. I'm not fucking with it, right? But
Powerful.
in 2019, I couldn't do that no more. In
Yeah.
2019, it was like Spirit was like, no, we need you in your seat before 2020, before COVID really hit everybody.
Yes,
So I was in a
crazy.
fast track kind of space in 2019 where it was like, no, I was getting hit in 2019, like literally have a situation where I had a little altercation with a low level energy that tried to come in. I call it take my virginity.
Yeah. Poppy poppy, let's go.
But in that moment, that was in the beginning of my path, I could have let that fear take me out of my seat and go back to my regular day shift, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Or I listened to my higher self that was like, I needed to empower myself in that moment and I could not run no more. It was like, you can't run. You can't keep
See,
running.
and that's what I'm saying is like a lot of times people ask me, like my client base is so broad, but my real gifteds, like my truly special, and everyone's special, but the ones that are really going for it,
Hmm.
they always know exactly when, like I could tell you that breaking point. I know exactly when it was. But
Yeah.
the lead up is this series of events of denial and series of events of fear. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I honestly think it's divine intervention and divine timing. Like it's just
Right.
supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
I mean, we could sit here and say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I wish I would
Right.
have seen, blah, 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 but that's its own trap, right?
Right.
So that's a snake eating its tail. Like, you do not want to get caught up in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Right.
A lot of my intuitives, my little healers, I love them. Shout out to all of you. You know who you are. Um, that's where they're caught up. They feel like they should have embraced it way
Mhm.
sooner. They wish they could have. I just want to introduce them to you also while we're
Yeah.
here, just to have some backup because I'm the only one. Like,
No, you're dead ass right because in the beginning I felt like that, like, damn, if I had did this, look, what I would have done, but it wasn't necessary to be in that space at that time. I had to go through what I needed to go through, and my
100%.
life has been very colorful. If I get into like my life has been very colorful
Same.
of ups
Same.
and downs and shit that I've been through. Some of it I know it has helped so many people now that I'm on this
Yes.
path. So there is no, oh, I got into the game late. What's late?
This
what,
is
what?
why love and light is so dangerous. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is where I'm gonna go with it. You're gonna be like, Ellie, you're a genius. um, so when you only focus on love and light and you don't acknowledge the other side of things, the
Mm,
who, what, when, where, and why, right? The love and light can be very much a solution based, right? So you know how to combat the feelings, right? You know how the perspective to shift your mindset. But if you
mhm.
don't understand how you got there, you have a tendency to repeat the cycle.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a lot of tools that kept creating like a backspin. So I would face my stuff and then I'd go right back to where I was
Right,
because I didn't understand that vulnerability was
right,
essential for me to be able to be who I am. And when we are vulnerable, we are vulnerable.
right,
And that if you don't know how to protect yourself and you open up your field and you are a genuinely real deal psychic individual, you
right,
will invite all kinds of things, which
right.
is why our lives are very colorful and a
Uh,
lot of crazy things that happen. So that's the full circle.
right,
It's not that the love and light is a bad thing, that is a huge part of the bigger picture, which is that I had to literally hold myself accountable for so many things that I didn't even intend to do.